Want to draw hands like this? Welcome to Monterey's one-stop shop, drawing hands for dummies. Now, I'm not a very smart artist, so I need dumbed-down methods in order to draw, okay? So something like this, and this, with its million circle joints. Bitch, do you think I'm smart enough to process this? I have like one brain cell on good days. As a side note, some of you might actually be smart enough to process this though, so do feel free to use the classic method instead. So in this house, we use the block method, okay? So all hands can be broken down into sticks and blocks. And this may seem counterintuitive at first, but go with really simple shapes, okay? So for example, the palm of the hands is just a block, and then the fingers are just sticks, okay? We don't all know how to draw joints or hand wrinkles or, all that complex stuff, but we do all know shapes and sticks. Don't worry about forming all the joints in each shape separately. My tiny little brain gets confused, so I can't do this. Alright, so taking our earlier example where we drew our basic shape, let's put the wrist here, you can just draw 2 lines down. Make this part a little bit wider, this part a little bit shorter. You can look at your own palm for reference, or other palms, it's totally up to you. And then I just lower the opacity and I sketch right over it. So and you can adjust it as you wish. So for example, I don't want this to go straight up, you can just draw it down. And you can do all these fixes really easily, or you can use references, whatever you'd like. But essentially, it doesn't have to be super structured. You don't have to follow all of your guidelines. Hands are really flowy, remember that? So try to keep all of your lines really curved and smooth. So for example, we can do another one. I find that it does help if you do like the sketching in a big brush so that you can kind of get a general shape of it. So for example, if we're looking at a hand that is kind of facing the quote-unquote camera, so to say, you have a shape that's kind of like this, right? So you have the base of the palm. So just break it down into this kind of shape instead of like this and then this and then this and then this and then this. Too complicated. Nah, we don't have the brain cells for that, guys. Just break them down into sticks. Break them down into sticks. Here's the thumb, okay? Lower that opacity, pick whatever brush you want to sketch or draw with, and then just follow your lines, And you have yourself a pretty nice hand. Here is the spiciest practice tip I can give you, okay? Collect folders of hands and use them as references. Don't feel bad about tracing hand shapes for practice purposes. Practice only though, okay? Please don't do this in your full art. And break them down like I showed you before. So we're taking this, I love this particular sheet of hand references because it has a lot of different dynamic poses. But yeah, you can pick whatever hand reference you'd like. Let's say this one, you can just draw kind of those guidelines right over it, those shapes, those sticks, and it'll give you a much better idea of the breakdown so that when you come back to your own canvas, right, just copy the shape. Like that. And then we can reduce the opacity. Yep, there you go. Obviously this isn't a perfect copy of the reference, but I hope that's close enough to kind of show you what I mean. So obviously part of the reason why I can do this with a lot of speed is because I've had a lot of practice, but by using this method you can kind of train the muscle memory into your hand. So I like to call this collection kind of my repertoire of hands to sound extra fancy and like a good artiste. Remember, if you're a small brain like me, breaking down too much can actually be really harmful because it gets really overwhelming. So simple shapes only, okay? Copy and collect. Your hand will suck up the hand knowledge like a sponge. Muscle memory is really neat in art and it'll become second nature. A lot of tutorials try to make you break it down like this, like have this section, then this section, then this section, then this section, then that section, all of that. But guys, how can my small brain process all of that? That's never happening. That's never happening. Especially with beginners, it's really hard to kind of think about all these shapes and how they fit together. So I find that it's actually much more helpful for a beginner to break it down into like 2 or 3 shapes maximum. If you want to do a triangle, you can, but I would even forego that and just sticks, 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 sticks. You remember how you drew that simple shape, you can transfer that onto your own canvas and practice how to draw hands that way. And I find that that is actually the easiest way for me. And that's it. Truly, how to draw hands for dummies. Thanks for watching.